My name is Monica McClintock, and today I'll be sharing my philosophy on teaching social studies, addressing its importance, and how to integrate it into a busy schedule, and my personal approach to social justice and equity in the classroom. So for the first question, my response to a colleague who doesn't teach social studies, I feel like it's first important to acknowledge their feelings and express that, yes, it is really hard to fit everything into a schedule every day, especially for elementary school. I feel like there is so much that we have to cover and so much that's expected of us to cover, and just acknowledging those feelings that, yeah, it is hard to fit everything in. However, I feel like it is important to acknowledge and emphasize that social studies is essential because it helps students develop critical thinking skills, cultural awareness, and civic responsibility. And then it also integrates naturally with other subjects and helps students make sense of the world around them. So to make social studies more manageable, I could suggest 2 integration strategies to this teacher. For one, integrating it into other parts of teaching. For example, doing it with literacy and math. So historical fiction books can be used in reading lessons, and students can analyze data from past events during math lessons. So those are 2 probably upper elementary. Well, no. For the historical fiction books, I think that could be for lower, but then analyzing data from past events during a math lesson, I feel like that's more for upper grades specifically. And then as well as doing morning meetings or classroom discussions. So these can be short, structured discussions about current events or cultural celebrations or historical moments. And those can also just be built into daily routines, and that makes social studies a natural and engaging part of everyone's days. For the integrating social justice and equity into social studies, when I would teach social studies, I would want to plan to integrate social studies and equity in meaningful ways. So encouraging students to ask the why and how questions is one thing that we learned in class that I thought was really interesting, instead of just accepting, to think of why things happened and how things happened. And this develops a critical thinking and awareness of social structures. And another one is the counter narratives. So I think this is the one that we learned, and I think 2 weeks ago in class, where you had all of the books for everyone to look at of different, just diverse perspectives of the world. And I think that is really important to make sure every group of students feels included in the classroom. And then, yeah, for example, when discussing the U.S. history, include voices of indigenous communities, immigrants, and civil rights activists to provide a fuller picture rather than the narrative that we're just given all through our elementary school, and what majority people just think of the one story, instead include a lot of different selections. And then also integrating anti-biased work. So using classroom discussions and literature to challenge stereotypes, promote empathy, and help students recognize bias in the media and history. I think that's really important for them, students to make their own voices, for them to understand and come to their own conclusions about what is going on in the world. So prioritizing these approaches, I personally aim to foster a classroom where students see themselves in history and feel empowered to be informed and active citizens. So not just in the classroom for them to be informed, but outside of the classroom as well, for all students to feel like they have a voice, and for them to understand the whole of everything going on in the world. And so, in my opinion, I do believe that social studies is more than just history. It is about understanding the world, making connections, and developing responsible and empathetic citizens. I can't remember what I just said, but developing responsible and empathetic citizens. So by integrating it into our schedules and focusing on equity, we can make it meaningful and engaging for all students. So I do personally believe that social studies is so important and it should be integrated no matter how busy a schedule is. I think that any subject can be integrated within any subject. So thank you.